Have you ever locked eyes with someone and felt a jolt? Like they weren't just seeing you, but somehow knowing you? That eerie moment when their gaze seems to bypass your appearance entirely and pierce straight into something ancient and private within you? It's more than just a stare. It's as if they're reading a message you didn't even know you were sending. What if that uncomfortable sense of exposure isn't just imagination? What if your eyes aren't just passive windows to your soul, but active transmitters, silently broadcasting the essence of your deepest purpose? According to Carl Jung, this isn't far-fetched at all. He spent his life exploring the collective unconscious, those shared psychological blueprints that link all of humanity in mysterious, invisible ways. Yet, among all his theories, there's one piece of research that has remained buried, either ignored or deliberately suppressed. A revelation so bold, mainstream psychology has avoided it altogether. It suggests something that challenges conventional science at its core. That your eye color is not random. It's not just about genes or inherited traits. Jung's most controversial work proposes that your eye color reflects something far more profound, a direct physical manifestation of your soul's dominant archetype, a coded message written into your body, revealing the inner force that's been silently shaping your choices, instincts, and life path. Pause for a second. Reflect. Haven't you ever noticed certain patterns? How people with similar eye colors seem to share unusual traits, life directions, or emotional tones? How you can look at a stranger and feel an immediate, inexplicable sense of who they are, based solely on their eyes? Coincidence? Or ancient, forgotten knowledge resurfacing? The wisdom keepers of the past certainly didn't think it was chance. In many spiritual traditions, the eyes were sacred. To them, your eye color wasn't just aesthetic, it was encoded meaning. They believed it contained the blueprint of your soul's mission, why you came into this lifetime, and what you were truly meant to do in the grand human story. But here's the unsettling truth. Most people today are living completely out of alignment with that mission. They're unknowingly resisting their archetypal blueprint, forcing themselves into roles, identities, and paths that were never meant for them. And then they wonder, why does life feel so heavy, so disconnected? Why can't I find my place? If you've ever felt this way, if you've ever sensed that you were born for something greater but couldn't quite name what it was, you're not alone. And you're not broken. The feeling isn't fantasy. It's your soul speaking, trying to break through the noise and remind you of something ancient you've forgotten. What's more, it's doing so through the only language it has left, archetypal patterns. Carl Jung revealed that every human carries deeply embedded imprints, archetypes rooted in the collective unconscious. These aren't just philosophical ideas. They're energetic structures, alive within you, guiding your behaviors, your attractions, your fears, your calling. And according to Jung's most suppressed work, those very archetypes are written into your physical form, especially your eyes. Here's what mainstream psychology won't tell you. Your eye color is a cosmic signature, a biological clue left by the universe to indicate which archetypal force is shaping your experience. The melanin swirling in your irises, it's not just about light refraction, it's an impression of your soul's mission, encoded in matter. Think back, how many times has someone looked into your eyes and said, "There's something about you"? How many times have you instantly trusted or avoided someone simply because of the look in their eyes? That's not randomness, that's archetypal recognition at work. Ancient Egyptians believed that the eyes revealed the seat of the soul. The Celtic Druids read entire destinies through iris patterns. Indigenous shamans around the world have always held that eye color reveals the spiritual task one was chosen for in this lifetime. But in today's world, that wisdom has been discarded. We've been told our eye color is nothing more than an inherited trait, an evolutionary fluke. We've been conditioned to dismiss what our ancestors knew by heart, that the eyes are not just for seeing, but for revealing. And so millions of people move through life like strangers to themselves, blind to the truth their own body is trying to tell them. They end up in relationships, careers, and environments that crush their spirit, living lives that quietly oppose their deepest essence. No wonder they feel lost, anxious, or numb. Every day they're fighting against the very thing they were born to fulfill. If you've ever felt like you're swimming upstream in life, like you're constantly fighting against some invisible current, drop a like on this video. You're about to discover why. The truth is, your eye color has been trying to tell you something crucial about your purpose since the day you were born, but most of us have been conditioned not to listen. We've been trained to view our eyes as just another physical trait, an aesthetic detail, rather than the sacred instrument they truly are. In reality, your eyes are far more than biological features. They function like a cosmic GPS, quietly broadcasting your soul's assignment to those who know how to read the signal. And it all begins with perhaps the most misunderstood eye color in the archetypal system: brown eyes. If you have brown eyes, chances are you've heard phrases your whole life like common, ordinary, or nothing special. But that narrative is one of the greatest cultural deceptions of our time. Because in truth, brown eyes carry the most profound archetypal mission of all. In Carl Jung's archetypal system, brown-eyed individuals are known as the keepers of the earth. Their soul's mission isn't loud or flashy, it's foundational. They are the grounding force within humanity's collective psyche, holding space for the growth of others while anchoring the spiritual evolution of the species. They are the calm in chaos, the unseen stabilizers, the ones who allow other archetypal missions to unfold safely. And there's a powerful reason for this. The high melanin concentration in their irises doesn't just affect eye color. It forges a direct line to what Jung described as the primordial unconscious, the deepest, most ancient layer of our shared psychological memory. Those with brown eyes can intuitively access this timeless well of ancestral wisdom. That's why many of them feel like old souls. Their psyche carries echoes of voices long gone, generations of understanding, compassion, and spiritual resilience. It's no coincidence that brown-eyed people are often drawn to healing roles, teaching, nurturing, and protecting others. They have an uncanny ability to make others feel safe, heard, and deeply understood, even people they've just met. Their presence feels familiar, grounding, almost like home. But as with every gift, there's a shadow side, and many brown-eyed individuals never realize it. Because their archetypal nature is wired for caretaking, they often neglect themselves. They give endlessly, sometimes to the point of depletion. They hold space for others so consistently that they forget to hold space for themselves. Over time, they may find themselves exhausted, wondering why they feel empty even when surrounded by love. Is the great challenge of their mission, learning the delicate line between healthy grounding and self-sacrificing codependence. Their role is not to fix the world, but to embody the balance between wisdom and expansion. They are here to teach others how to remain rooted in truth while still reaching for transcendence. In many ancient cultures, brown eyes were revered as divine signs. Some spiritual traditions even believed brown-eyed individuals were earth angels, souls who consciously chose to incarnate for the purpose of stabilizing human consciousness during times of great transition. Egyptian priests believed that those with brown eyes were literal channels for the Earth's intelligence, chosen to guide others using the planet's own memory. If you have brown eyes, you may have noticed how people instinctively confide in you. Strangers share their secrets. Friends turn to you for wisdom. Even children and animals gravitate toward your presence. This isn't random. It's not just a nice personality. It's your archetypal energy forming a protective field around you, a field built from safety and depth. But here's the truth that every brown-eyed soul must internalize. Your role is not to carry the world. Your role is to show the world what sacred grounding looks like when it's fueled by ancient wisdom and directed toward personal elevation. You are not just here to support others. You're here to model what it means to evolve, gracefully and rooted. If you have brown eyes and you've always felt like the one everyone turns to, the counselor, the emotional anchor, This might finally explain why. You're not imagining it. You're embodying a design. Drop your country in the comments below. Let's see just how many Earth angels are tuning in from around the world. Modern research quietly confirms what ancient wisdom knew all along. Brown-eyed individuals tend to score higher on empathy, emotional intelligence, and what psychologists now call wisdom orientation. They're more likely to choose careers in caregiving, more inclined to form long-term emotional bonds, and more often report feeling personally responsible for the well-being of others. So the next time you catch your reflection, remember this. Your brown eyes aren't common. They're sacred. They are the eyes of someone who accepted one of the most demanding roles in humanity's unconscious field, to hold space for the healing of the whole while walking your own path to spiritual fulfillment. Every time you look in the mirror, you're seeing the eyes of someone who volunteered for one of the most important jobs in the collective unconscious. Blue eyes represent perhaps the most misunderstood archetypal pattern in Jung's system. If you have blue eyes, you've likely been told you're intense or piercing, or that people feel exposed when you look at them. This isn't about intimidation, it's about your soul's mission, as what Jung called the seers of truth. The lack of melanin in blue eyes creates a unique neurological phenomenon. The iris reflects light in ways that actually enhance certain types of perception. And in blue-eyed individuals, this light interaction does more than just create a stunning aesthetic. It reveals a deep psychological gift. Research now confirms what ancient traditions suspected all along. Blue-eyed people have what experts call enhanced pattern recognition. But this isn't just a scientific curiosity. It's the very essence of their archetypal identity. People with blue eyes often report something uncanny. They can sense when others aren't being fully honest, when someone's smile hides sadness, or when words don't match energy. They read between the lines not with effort, but effortlessly. Their perceptive abilities let them cut through illusions, deception, and emotional masks, often seeing the truth behind a person's facade before the person even realizes it themselves. This is why many blue-eyed individuals feel like they can read people's true intentions at a glance. They're not guessing, they're decoding. Their soul's mission, in Jungian terms, is to act as truth detectors for the collective human consciousness. Their role isn't passive, it's deeply active. They unconsciously illuminate what others try to hide. But with this clarity comes a heavy cost. The shadow side of this archetype is the feeling of isolation and distrust that can emerge from constantly seeing beneath the surface. Blue-eyed people often know things about others they wish they didn't. They notice the inconsistencies between words and actions, the subtle betrayals of body language, the tension behind fake laughter. This sensitivity, though powerful, can make relationships feel shallow or unsatisfying. It becomes difficult to fully relax when you're always seeing the truth behind the performance. That's why many blue-eyed souls find themselves longing for deeper, more authentic connections, and often feeling let down by the superficial nature of modern interaction. The archetypal mission of blue eyes is not to use their insight as a weapon, but as a path to healing. Their task is to guide others gently toward authenticity, not by confronting them, but by holding space, calm, sacred space, for people to remove their own masks. These individuals carry a unique gift, the ability to accept others completely, light and shadow alike. They don't need people to be perfect, they need people to be real. This archetype was revered across ancient civilizations. The Nordic peoples believed blue eyes marked the sky seers, those who could perceive spiritual truths invisible to others. The Celts saw blue-eyed children as gifted with the ability to peer through the veil between worlds, walking the line between the seen and unseen. In shamanic traditions, blue eyes were viewed as indicators of visionary ability, natural-born seekers, capable of spotting the hidden patterns that shape reality. And this sensitivity isn't just myth, it's supported by modern science. If you have blue eyes, you've probably noticed that people either feel deeply safe with you or strangely exposed. There's rarely a neutral reaction. That's because your very presence invites authenticity. Your archetypal energy makes it nearly impossible for others to keep up their usual emotional armor. Carl Jung referred to this dynamic as a field of truth, a psychological force field that surrounds those carrying the truth-seer archetype. Blue-eyed individuals naturally generate this field. It's why so many of them gravitate toward professions in psychology, research, investigation, or spiritual mentorship, fields that require penetrating beyond appearances to reveal what's real. Your blue eyes aren't just beautiful. They're instruments of perception, tools of consciousness, coded into your biology by your soul's mission. You're not just looking at people, you're scanning, intuitively, for authenticity, for truth, for the person beneath the performance. If this resonates with you, if you've always felt like you could see through the masks people wear, share a moment in the comments when your instinct proved undeniably correct. Let's validate one another's truth-seeing abilities, because this is not imagination. It's the language of your archetype at work. But here's what you must understand about this gift. Your role is not to expose or shame. You are not here to call people out or strip them bare. You are here to create environments where truth feels safe enough to emerge on its own. Your mission is to model what it means to live without a mask, to show others, gently, that they don't need to hide around you. And in today's world, this mission couldn't be more vital. We are living in a time of mass deception, digital facades, and curated personas. The human collective is starving for authenticity, longing for real, unfiltered connection. And your archetype exists precisely to help restore that truth. Your blue eyes are your soul's way of marking you as a living mirror, a guide back to honesty and wholeness, not just for others, but for yourself. Green eyes are the rarest eye color, appearing in only 2% of the global population. But this rarity isn't coincidental, it's archetypal. Green-eyed individuals carry what Jung called the catalyst mission. They're here to accelerate transformation in everyone they encounter. The unique combination of melanin patterns that create green eyes also creates a unique psychological profile. Green-eyed individuals exist in what researchers call the liminal space, the threshold between different states of consciousness, where boundaries blur and transformation becomes possible. They're natural bridge builders, navigating both the tangible and intangible realms with an ease that feels almost otherworldly. Their presence often serves as a gentle yet powerful guide for those undergoing deep life changes, helping others transition from one phase of existence to another. This is why so many green oak people report a lifelong feeling of being out of place, like they're straddling two worlds but belong fully to neither. They're too intense, too deep for casual company. For some, their mysticism is overwhelming. For others, their practicality feels out of place. They're too grounded to be fully embraced by spiritual circles, yet too intuitive to feel at home in the purely material world. But this inner tension isn't a defect. It's their archetypal design, a soul pattern meant to dwell between labels, to move between categories without needing to belong to any. Their very presence serves as a signal that change is near. The core mission of green eyes isn't comfort or conformity, it's transformation. These individuals are often the catalysts in someone else's journey. They show up like clockwork, right when a major life change is stirring beneath the surface. They're the ones who ask the questions that can no longer be ignored, who introduce the perspectives that shake the foundation of long-held beliefs, who, unknowingly, create the energetic space for growth, healing, and breakthrough. But there's another side to this gift, a shadow that green-eyed souls often wrestle with. Their transformative presence can destabilize relationships. People are magnetically drawn to them, experience rapid inner or outer shifts, and then feel the need to retreat to make sense of what just happened. For green-eyed individuals, this pattern can be emotionally exhausting. They may feel repeatedly abandoned just when a connection begins to deepen, wondering why they are always left behind in the aftermath of someone else's awakening. Ancient Celtic traditions viewed green eyes as the mark of shapeshifters, mystical beings capable of assisting others in transforming their essence. In Egyptian mystery schools, initiates with green eyes were believed to carry unique access to powerful energies of rebirth and spiritual renewal. Similarly, in various indigenous teachings, green eyes were seen as an outward sign of inherent shamanic abilities, a soul marked for guiding others through deep metamorphosis. If you have green eyes, you may have noticed that your mere presence seems to act like a trigger for rapid life events in others. People cross your path and suddenly relationships fall apart. New possibilities arise, long-buried truths come to light. It's as if you hold a mirror that reflects not just who someone is, but who they're becoming. You are, in every sense, a lightning rod for transformative energy. Modern psychological research backs this up. Green-eyed individuals consistently score higher on traits like creativity, adaptability, and what scientists term change catalyst behavior. They're often drawn to professions where transformation is central, whether that's in therapy, coaching, creative work, consulting, or healing practices. They may not always know why, but they're compelled to help others shift their circumstances and reimagine their lives. If you're someone with green eyes and have noticed this ripple effect in the lives of those around you, share your most profound transformation experience in the comments below. It's time to recognize how many catalyst souls walk among us. Your green eyes are more than rare, they're revolutionary. They mark you as a soul chosen to help humanity evolve. Every conversation you have, every connection you make, carries the potential for awakening. You are designed to spark change in others, simply by being who you are. That's the power of your archetypal energy. But remember this, your mission isn't to control or direct anyone else's path. You're not here to impose change, to fix, or to rescue. You're here to embody the energy of transformation so fully that others remember they have the same power within them. You're meant to be a living model of what it looks like to constantly grow, to embrace uncertainty, to become, again and again, the truest version of yourself. The world, now more than ever, needs that energy. We're living through the collapse of outdated systems and the birth of new paradigms. Your presence, your green eyes, are a sign that you were born to help guide people through these times of upheaval and renewal. Hazel eyes represent one of the most complex archetypal patterns in Jung's system. If you have hazel eyes, you've probably been told they change color depending on your mood, the lighting, or what you're wearing. This isn't just a physical phenomenon. It's a reflection of your soul's mission, as what Jung called the shapeshifters of consciousness. The unique combination of melanin patterns that create hazel eyes also creates a unique psychological flexibility. Hazel-mind individuals have what researchers call archetypal fluidity, an innate ability to embody different psychological roles depending on the environment. They seem to intuitively know what a moment calls for and step into that role with grace and precision. These individuals are natural adapters, often becoming exactly what those around them need without conscious effort. Because of this, hazel-eyed people frequently report feeling like they're living with multiple personalities. Not in a clinical sense, but in a deep archetypal way. One moment they're the wise counselor, offering grounded insight. The next, they're the playful catalyst who ignites laughter and spontaneity. And in another setting, they become the steady protector, strong, calm, and dependable. Is it inconsistency? No, it's their archetypal strength, a fluid response to the needs of others shaped by the moment. Their core mission isn't to hold one fixed identity, it's to serve as mirrors for other people's potential. Through them, others glimpse who they could become. Hazel-eyed individuals have an uncanny ability to reflect back the talents, strengths, and possibilities that others may have buried or forgotten. Sometimes, with just a few words or a single conversation, they unlock something powerful in another person. They are the ones who see someone's dormant gifts before anyone else does and help them awaken. But like any archetypal path, this one has a shadow. The very gift of fluidity that makes hazel-eyed individuals so helpful to others can also make them feel like they've lost touch with themselves. When you're constantly adapting, constantly becoming what others need, it's easy to wonder, who am I when I'm alone? Who am I when no one else is asking for something? They might find themselves questioning their own authenticity, not because they lack one, but because it's so often placed in service of others. Ancient Greek traditions believed that hazel eyes marked divine mirrors, people who could reflect the qualities of the gods back to mortals. In Celtic Druidic lore, hazel-eyed individuals were thought to be connected to the wisdom of the world tree, a sacred symbol linking all realms of existence. And in many mystical traditions, hazel eyes were considered signs of mediumship, the ability to serve as a conduit between realities. If you have hazel eyes, you may have noticed how people confide in you. How often do you hear someone say, "You helped me see myself differently," or "You saw something in me I didn't even know was there"? This is your archetypal energy at work, creating what Carl Jung referred to as a field of potential recognition. You awaken something in others simply by being present. That's not imagination, it's a real energetic pattern. Psychological studies support this as well. Hazel-eyed individuals consistently score higher in emotional intelligence, adaptability, and what researchers call potential recognition ability, the skill of seeing greatness in others before it has even emerged. It's no surprise that many are drawn to professions like coaching, mentoring, therapy, teaching, or spiritual guidance, any role that involves helping others see and realize their highest capabilities. If you've been told that you helped someone see themselves more clearly, that you shifted their self-perception in a meaningful way, share that experience in the comments. These stories matter. They show us how many divine mirrors are walking among us. Your hazel eyes aren't just aesthetically changeable, they're deeply transformative. They mark you as a soul who has chosen to reflect humanity's higher potential back to itself. Everyone you meet has the chance to see their true self more clearly when they're in your presence. Your archetypal energy makes this recognition not only possible, but inevitable. But there's something important you must remember about this mission. Your role isn't to lose yourself in the endless reflections of others. It isn't to become everything for everyone and forget who you are at your core. Your real task is to maintain your own center, to stand firmly in your authentic self while remaining fluid enough to assist others in seeing theirs. You are here to demonstrate what true, centered adaptability looks like. The world is in desperate need of that mirror energy right now. So many people are walking through life disconnected from their gifts, unsure of who they are or what they're capable of. In a time of so much confusion and self-doubt, your hazel eyes are a subtle but sacred mark, a signal that you are here to help others remember. Now that you understand your archetypal eye pattern, here's what most people get wrong. They think this knowledge is just interesting information about their personality. They treat it like a spiritual personality test, instead of recognizing it as a blueprint for their life's deepest work. Your eye color isn't just describing who you are, it's revealing who you're meant to become. It's showing you the archetypal pattern that your soul is here to master in this lifetime, not merely as an identity, but as a sacred task. Every challenge you've faced, every relationship you've had, every career choice you've made, none of these were random. They were all orchestrated by your inner self, nudging you, guiding you, sometimes even pushing you toward your archetypal mission. Think back to the moments in your life when you felt fully alive, completely in flow, profoundly connected to something greater. Have you noticed how these moments weren't just joyful, but deeply aligned with your inner essence? That alignment wasn't an accident. It was your soul recognizing its own truth being lived out loud. The brown-eyed person who felt most fulfilled while helping a friend navigate a storm of emotion. The blue-eyed individual who lit up when guiding someone toward a long-avoided truth. The green-eyed soul who felt electric when witnessing another's breakthrough. The hazel-eyed being who felt completely seen when mirroring someone's untapped potential back to them. These weren't fleeting coincidences. They were revelation. Your soul was speaking through experience, confirming, yes, this is who you are. This is what you're here to do. But this is where the true transformation begins, in recognizing how often we live in resistance to our calling. Most people try to mold themselves into what society wants, ignoring the gentle pull of their soul. They force themselves into roles that suppress their nature, wondering why life feels like an uphill climb. The brown-eyed person is told they're too soft, so they try to harden themselves. The blue-eyed person is labeled too intense, so they dim their brilliance to fit in. The green-eyed soul is called too much, and in response they shrink themselves into predictability. And the hazel-eyed person, so naturally fluid, is told they're too changeable, and in trying to become rigid, they lose their magic. Is it any wonder that relationships feel off, careers feel empty, and life starts to lose its spark? The disconnect is not a flaw. It's a sign that you've been moving against your own nature instead of with it. If you're finally beginning to understand why parts of you have always felt like they were swimming upstream, then pause, breathe, and let that truth settle in. You're on the verge of something powerful. You're starting to flow with your nature instead of resisting it. That's where everything shifts. Here's your integration practice for the week ahead. Begin paying close attention to those moments when you feel alive, truly energized, lit up from within. What are you doing? Who are you with? What kind of impact are you creating in that moment? These are signs that your archetypal mission is in motion. Then, observe the moments when you feel depleted or disconnected. Are you trying to be someone you're not? Are you performing a role that drains you instead of fueling you? These patterns hold the key. They reveal exactly when you are living in alignment and when you're not. The goal isn't to uproot your life overnight. It's to start making conscious, deliberate choices that reflect who you truly are. Maybe that means, if you're blue-eyed, leaning into deeper conversations instead of skimming the surface. If you're brown-eyed, it could mean creating emotional safety for others without apology. If you're green-eyed, it might be time to fully embrace your catalytic power, even if it means being misunderstood. If you're hazel-eyed, your task is to accept your adaptability as a gift, not a flaw, to hold your center while remaining fluid. Your archetypal mission is not a burden, it's a form of sacred precision. It reveals where your soul can make the most impact, where your energy can ripple out and transform lives. This understanding isn't new. Ancient wisdom keepers knew it well. In tribal cultures and ancient civilizations, each person's archetypal role was essential to the community's health and harmony. When one person awakened to their mission, everyone benefited. So if someone in your life has eyes that seem to carry a certain mystery or power, share this message with them. Help them remember what their soul already knows. Let them see how their eye color, something they've always had, has been quietly pointing to their purpose all along. And in the comments, tell me, what's the first change you're going to make to honor your soul's calling? It could be small, it could be bold, but it matters. Because this is not just about understanding yourself on a deeper level. It's about stepping into your rightful role in humanity's greater unfolding. Your eye color has been sending signals about your mission from the very beginning. Now that you know what it's been saying, you can finally stop fighting against your nature and start flowing with it. The world needs you to fulfill your archetypal mission. There are people waiting for what only you can offer. There are transformations that can only happen through your unique gifts. Your eyes have been broadcasting your soul's mission your entire life. Now it's time to answer the